And two kind of Spanish Fork legends, right?
Absolute legends. Pedro and Jace, two of the best players to ever play at Spanish.
And then Jace had a very successful career at UVU.
Career.
And then Hayden is kind of like a legend at
Chief.
BYU, right? Like, so great high school players, amazing college players.
Mm-hmm.
Hayden, just like so you guys out there know, Hayden at one point was a sophomore in high school. He was the starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He was the starting shortstop, and he was the starting point guard.
Jeez.
As a sophomore, right?
Just the man.
Yeah. So
Hayden's
he's
the man.
Just for those people who don't know like baseball or follow as much, like some real dudes. So
Hayden started every game of his career at BYU.
Yes.
True freshman year to senior, he never didn't start a game.
Yep.
I think
There's
he
a
got
lot of games
from once.
There's a lot of games in a baseball season, right?
And Hayden's just the man. Like leadership. Like there's a story. I don't know if it's true. It's like a myth of Hayden Nielsen, but it's just how he is. Like he started every game of his career, but he got pulled out in the middle of one by a coach. You know, and he went up to the coach after the game. He's like, "Look, coach, I get it. I agree. I was playing bad. I made a bad play. Whatever you did wrong, like I get it. I understand. That's not going to happen again. And we're better when I'm on the field." And from that point on, he never came out of the game. Yeah. And it's like that's Hayden.
That's Hayden.
He's gonna hate me for saying that because Hayden just likes to bust me all the time.
Well, he's your cousin, right?
Yeah. So, distant, but Hayden, he's like an uncle, older brother type.
Yeah. He's been a mentor.
Mess with me all the time. Yeah.
So let's talk about your pitching. So, what is your highest speed you've recorded in a game?
91 miles an hour. So nothing really too incredible, to be quite honest.
I think it's harder than I can throw, though.
Yeah,
so.
Probably, senor.
Yeah.
But no, 91 before my junior year, I came out throwing really hard. My shoulder really wasn't ready for how hard I was throwing. Yeah. I hurt my shoulder and then came back, popped my elbow, eventually got Tommy John surgery. Now we're on our way back. I'm up to 90. 89, 90 since the surgery, so we're getting there. We're really getting there, but it's a process.
So speed's important. How much is like your pitches and your variety of pitches and knowing like where does that all fit in? How much of it is speed and how much of it is your craft?
I think like it's probably like I don't know. It's hard to give like a percentage. Like 70-30, 80-20 ability to pitch and then stuff.
Yeah.
Velo and then stuff because I feel like that's kind of three different things. There's velo, which is awesome. You throw 94. Especially you throw like 94, 95, 96. When I was a hitter, it's like, oh, geez. No matter what he's doing, like, it gets pretty tough. But in high school even, and then in college for sure, you're like 90 to 93. Who cares? It means nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then comes into play your stuff, your movement, breaking pitches, change-ups, stuff like that. That can be pretty legit. But for me, pitching, like, paramount is control. If I can put all 3 to 5 of my pitches, depending on the day, how many pitches I have working, exactly where I want them, 9 out of 10 times, 9.5 out of 10 times, I'll win. Like, I'll dominate. Because, like, whatever I'm throwing, if I can put it where I want, and then I know where I need to throw it, like, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
The truth is, I haven't faced real D1 hitters yet.
Right.
A ton. I mean,
you're a young guy.
Yeah, young guy. I did tonight. I faced some D1 guys, and I faced a lot of D1 commits, but I'm waiting to see what it's like when you really get to that level because the game changes. Guys are legit. Guys have a better eye. But for me, leading up to this point in my life, it's been control. Put it where you want it. You know what I mean? So, not just throwing strikes, but throwing the strikes you want to throw and the balls you want to throw.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
And then how much of it is a mental game with like, hey, I know he's going to swing at this, or I know I'm going to set him up here because I know later I'm going to get him there.
For sure. Yeah, there's a ton of setup, like, and especially like, even getting through how many times you're facing a guy in the order. If I'm starting pitcher, I might have 5 pitches. I'll only throw 3 of them first time through. If I'm feeling really good, my stuff that day, like, and it's, like I said, it's hard coming from high school to college, the different levels. But for me, growing up, it was always like, first time through the order, I'm throwing like 2 to 3 pitches if I feel good, because I think I can get you guys with that. And then second time through order, I might bring another one into the mix. Next time through, I might need to bring another one in. I need to try some new things because eyes adjust. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And like you said, like setting people up. A big philosophy for me, like I work really hard. It can be easy to just want to strike guys out all the time. But like Sandy Koufax said, like when he really got good at pitching is when he tried to get the guys to hit it soft instead of trying to strike people out. So I'm always trying to get guys to hit it soft. That doesn't always translate. I tend to still strike a lot of guys out. Like which doesn't make you any better. It's honestly probably better to just get people to ground out. You throw less pitches that way.
Yeah.
But I tend to strike guys out, or at least I have for a while. But that's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get soft contact, trying to get swings, trying to get nubs, because that's just the most efficient way to pitch. You know, and that's an aggressive way to pitch. I feel like if I try to start striking guys out, I start pitching really conservative, really soft, and nibbling at the corners, and I just don't want to do that. That's not a confident way to pitch in my view.
So we've talked. I'm not the biggest baseball guy, but I am the biggest like sports strategy guy. I love sports strategy, so it's just fascinating for me to kind of like hear you break that down real quick. Tell me before we move on to music, because I want to hear. We got to see some playlists. We got to get some music takes. So I know you're a music guy. What are your pitches? Like, what are some of the pitches, your best pitches, I guess?
Yeah, I throw a fastball. I've always thought my best pitch was a fastball, just because I tend to get some spin on it, even though my velo's not, plus. My velo's always been good, but it's not plus. I spin it. So when you spin a fastball, the more backspin you get, it's a big thing now called spin rate. The more backspin you get, it gives it the illusion to the hitter that it's rising. Because backspin, counters gravity. The hitter, as a hitter, you can't possibly track the ball the whole way in. Like, your body can't do that. So what it does is it guesses where the ball's going to be based on the information it's gathering visually. So if you're throwing a real high spin rate fastball, which I try to do and I tend to be able to do, their eyes will think it's going to be here, and then it's actually here. It's higher. It doesn't actually rise.
Right.
It just drops less because of the backspin. So, even though right now I pitch like 84 to 88, 89, I pitch harder than that because of a little bit of spin rate it'll ride on guys. It'll get in on them. And my fastball, I feel like I can really put it where I want it almost all the time, no matter what. In, out, up, down. I have good control. Then after that, a curveball. Just a real 12-6. I like to keep it real, on plane, real vertical, because it gets so technical. And then I'll throw a slider as well, which is a little bit harder, a little bit faster, and it's more sweeping, more horizontal. And the reason I like both of those pitches is because my slider is kind of my out pitch. It's a wipe out pitch, but a slider, when guys start to see it a lot, it can start to be a lot easier to hit because it stays on the same plane as a guy's bat. If you're a right-handed hitter especially, and your bat is like that at contact, right? You're hitting like that. The slider's coming in on that same plane. So even if they put a bad swing on it, their timing's poor. Instead of hitting it here, they're on the same plane, so then it just hits their barrel and they hit a double on accident. You know? 12-6, completely vertical. So it's almost completely perpendicular to their bat, which is what I like because they're either swinging over. You have to be perfectly on time. You have to be perfectly on time, to get a good piece. When you do, it goes 500 feet because of the spin. Yeah. But that's pretty rare. So I like to throw those 3 pitches. I'm mixing a change up once in a while, working on a sinker, working on a cutter, working on all kinds of pitches. But those are my 3 main ones.
Great.
Yeah. So yeah.